Hi, it's me, Matthias, also known as Mardi the Artist. Well, if you thought this was an art video, well, it's not. I decided to do something completely different. Home renovation. Our home. Okay, so let's start. In 2012, so that's about 8 years ago, we bought this dump. I say dump with a reason. It was a dump. Honestly, believe me, take my words for it. Okay, a little details. The house was built in 1914 by Joseph R. Dawson. He was a lineman for the Bell Phone Company. So by all means, no grand estate. It was rather a working class home. It was fairly small, a few square foot shy of just about 1,000. It was built as what they call it, Dutch colonial revival. So you easily recognized by the so-called mansard roofs. Okay. The condition of the house, let's put it this way. Friends who came with me looked at the place, they were questioning my insanity. Yeah, that's how bad it was. It was in an absolute sad state, neglected. I have no words. It was extremely filthy. The carpets and the existing laminated floors, they were drenched and soaked in animal urine. I assume cat, maybe a dog. The smell was unbearable. So anybody who looked at the house must have walked backwards, back out. I don't know. It was a bank sale. The windows were closed. The smell was unbelievable. It looked extremely run down. But for me, knowing what I was capable of doing, I looked beyond what I saw and what I smelled. The backbones of the house, they were fairly good condition. A tri-basement, which is down here, my studio space. A fairly new roof. Newer vinyl windows. The wiring was updated. There was no more knob and tube wiring, the old-fashioned type, which is very difficult to get insurance for. The plumbing was updated to copper, so there was no more galvanized plumbing in here. What else was? We loved the fact that the house had stucco. I absolutely hate houses with siding because I believe siding is hiding. There's always a reason why there's siding up there. Sometimes it's just for the purpose of insulation, sometimes it's just to hide what's below. The three sides of the stucco were in fairly good condition. There was a few corners I was able to fix, but the back side was beyond repair. It was patched by someone either with no skills or no passion. It was just, so there is a small section of the back side of the house which has actually some siding, but I had no choice. But it's on the back side, you don't see it, right? So this video is about home renovation, and I will show a couple of pictures. Unfortunately, back in the days when I started the renovation 8 years ago, I didn't think of taking video footage, so I just took some still pictures. And so it's a little journey for the last 8 years, going through the process of fixing this house. Like I mentioned, it was a working class home. However, like they say, your home is your castle. And we changed the style a little bit more in a combination Victorian / Edwardian, kind of in that direction. Okay, so follow me along and enjoy the ride. and towards the end I will do a little walkthrough through the house, how it is now in the year 2020. Of course, there's always more what can be done. I still have a little work to do on the outside, but it's fairly done. So it took us 8 years. The reason it took so long is because money doesn't grow on the trees. So it's a living house, so we live in here, so you can't, like some people do, a complete makeover in 3-4 months when you live here. So we tackled room by room and moved left to right because our belongings were in here. Yeah, so anyway, follow along, enjoy the ride. Thank you. So this is one of the 2 upstairs bedrooms. There was another one right across from it. This is the staircase leading to the downstairs. The carpet on the stairs was just so dirty. Every single door in the house had funky colors, Superman blue, lime green. So there was a lot of work to sand them all down. Now I didn't strip them down to the bare wood because I believe they were always painted. So in 2012 we basically started on the inside of the house. We tackled room by room. There's a couple of pictures from the different renovations days, installing drywall, creating a closet where a closet used to be back in the days. We also did a lot of insulation in the different walls wherever was possible. However, I did not want to take down the original walls. I left them all in place with the exception of the washroom. That was a total gut because there was mold everywhere, and we used the Schluter system for the showers. And as soon as spring came around, I started on the outside. So of course I started on the highest point, the roof. I scraped down the old cedar shingles on the dormers, replaced them if needed, painted them. I also had a few spots, stucco, I had to completely knock out and fix. Thanks God I had my own scaffolding, so I was able to reach, even sometimes with a ladder, the highest points. And I also had to knock down the entrance staircase, which was leading directly into the sidewalk. So I did build a little platform, and I had a few steps actually coming in from the right. I also did a little landscaping. There was not much to do because the front yard is fairly small, so I did build a little retaining wall using some bricks and some natural stones I had kicking around. Of course, I had to include my trademark concrete face, which some people some people think it's funny, some people think it's scary. Well, I don't care, but I do like it. So in the kitchen I took one window out and turned it into a door leading directly to the outside of the garden. I also got some more kitchen cabinets from the Habitat for Humanity, and here we have a couple of pics of the kitchen renovation. Under the wood paneling I found plastic tiles. I didn't know they existed, and I did a little research, so they were actually pretty common or popular in the 50s. I guess it was a cheaper solution. So of course I pulled them all out in the living room, and basically all over the house we removed up to 8 layers of wallpaper, and they were painted several times in between, so it was quite a hard work. Now I was not planning to take any of the old original walls out and replace them with drywall. I just found it fascinating to stand next to walls where people 50, 80, 100 years ago were discussing the Great Depression or maybe a murder, what happened in one of the neighboring homes. So the backside of the kitchen, where once was a window, there is now a door leading to the outside. As you can see, that's the only side of the house which has not been tackled yet. So first I wanted to build a deck, which I did all by myself, and I also purchased one of the lightweight aluminum shelters, sun and rain shelters. The top part above the door, the stucco was in fairly good condition, so I decided to leave it and just painted the wood and the stucco, and later on whatever was exposed below the shelter ceiling I would have to come up with some solution. I haven't figured out yet what to do. So our little sun and rain shelter was just completed in time. It has been raining for the last 24 hours and there's no leak. We're completely dry in here. So we set up camp temporarily, but my work from the outside has stopped for the time being till it stops raining. So here we are in what used to be an open porch. So obviously that was the main entrance door. Here we can see where there used to be a bell push button, I would assume, where the wood has been carved out. The porch was already enclosed by a previous owner, however I put in 3 windows. So here we have one, here we have the second one, and there's the third window. So now we have actually light coming into here. I insulated the walls really well. Also the floor from below, but there's no heat. So this is actually quite chilly in the wintertime. We're using this room as a mud room slash art storage when my art is not at any of the galleries or whatever I have left over. For some of the people who watch my art videos, they will recognize this wall. That's where I usually present my new artwork in my videos. And so let's go in and see what else we got. The very first thing we see when we come in this way is this beautiful antique cabinet, which I got from an antique store and restored it to its full glory. Let's start at the stairs. If you remember the picture, there used to be a carpet, and I removed the carpet and about 10,000 staples. I applied a stencil on each landing. There's 2 of them, and removed wallpaper, and I applied this nice paintable wall covering. This is, by the way, a painting by my late grandfather. He was an artist himself. And there's another painting by my grandfather. So going up the stairs, by the way, this was quite challenging to apply this wall covering. There is just no space to install a scaffolding, so I had to do all this from a ladder, which was quite high. Stairs. Right here we're looking at straight ahead the washroom door, and to each side there's one of the bedrooms each. Here too all the carpet was removed. I applied laminated flooring. Here's the washroom. Now let's have a look at the washroom. We actually had the most work done in this washroom. All the walls had to be removed. There was no existing fan ever. So you would imagine the mold sitting in between the framework, the drywall, you name it, the ceiling, everything. This is one of the original windows I left with the stained glass. Actually it's not stained, but it's the old lead glass. And the walls were completely gutted. All the copper pipework was insulated as well as the walls. Because it is a very narrow washroom, I installed one of those narrow IKEA sinks. I love it because the faucet is on the left hand side. So I also lowered the ceiling and I install a ceiling fan. The ceiling I applied faux tin ceilings, so those are imitations. On this side I tucked in this shelf. And swinging over this way, there's the shower. With a glass sliding door. So ceiling to floor tiles, including the floor. So here we have one of the two upstairs bedrooms. Just like everywhere in the house, all the wallpapers were removed. The carpet was removed. I installed laminated flooring. I can't remember the wall color. I call it mustard. But there's a damask wallpaper I installed. And there's a full-size closet behind the bed, and there's another one behind me. And moving on. So this would be our 11-year-old daughter's bedroom. There's a closet on each side. And can you tell she loves dinosaurs? So let's go downstairs. Let's take a look what the downstairs looks like. This is the back side of our closet. bedroom number 3, which we turned into our office slash library. So next to the dining room we have our kitchen. Here I actually left the old cabinets. I thought they were fine. I was considering different options, replace them, just replace the fronts. We decided to leave them and to give them the distressed look. I might still apply another coat of non-shiny varnish. And I'm not so keen on the shiny parts. There's crackle paint effects and the sanded edges. Do you remember the plastic tiles used to be here? So I removed them. And I installed, I guess they call it subway tiles. There has never ever been an exhaust hood, so I also installed that. And quite challenging to find, believe it or not, a 24-inch stove, a more narrow stove. Most stoves here in North America are just giant pieces, and for the longest time we had a nice stainless steel stove sitting in the kitchen on an angle because it wouldn't just fit in. That was pretty much one of the last projects we did, the kitchen. There's still an empty space, everything is in there, hook up for water and electricity, for a dishwasher. We haven't really found anything what we liked, so there's no priority. It's just the 3 of us, so we'll just wash all our dishes by hand, and therefore we have this beautiful sink with a drip tray. There's under counter LED lights, and the countertops are by IKEA. I love it. They have this gray kind of concrete finish, and nice. So this part of the kitchen, that's my wife's empire. That's her little corner where she has her laptop, her notes where she keeps track of everything, recipes. And there's also a fridge. Forgot to mention, we also replaced the flooring, so that is a laminated flooring designed for kitchens. Okay, so this part of the kitchen didn't exist before. I actually went to Habitat for Humanity, that's a second-hand store, and I bought those cabinets. The middle cabinet for the wine, I had that built by a friend, so it fits perfectly at that little wine cooler. And the shelf on the right for our microwave, we had that built as well. On this side there used to be just a sheet of glass inside the wall, so there was no insulation. It was really drafty. And so anyway, so there's a little window now. I installed that. I insulated the wall really well. That is the basement door going down into my studio, and there's another door leading out to the garden. So going around back here we can see the ceiling, which I wallpapered, and I installed the beams. The big massive beams in the middle, they're actually faux beams, so they're not real. The other ones, I hammered them with an axe, just give them that distressed look of being there for a long time. That is the location of where the window used to be. I turned it into a door, so it's perfect access to the garden and our little small deck. The deck is 10 foot by 12 foot, and the sun and rain shelter, I bought it as a kid from a hardware store, installed it myself, and we had a few rains already, and we were able to sit out there and enjoy the outdoors without getting wet. If it's really heavy rain, we can close the curtains. There's also a mosquito screen we can close. So, I hope you liked my little video, a little detour from my normal videos. Home renovation lasting 8 years. We're just about done. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Take care.